My 23F dad's 59M girlfriend 25F started momming me. My 23F dad's 59M girlfriend 25F started momming me yesterday. We're on a family trip and they just got back together after a 2-year separation. She just showed up to our family Thanksgiving and I guess that meant they're back together. They met when she was 18 and he introduced her to me and my siblings when she was 19 and I was 17. He lied and said she was 25 at the time, but a little light googling I found she was 19. We're like day 8/11 of our trip now and all of a sudden yesterday she started to treat me like a child and she's tried making it apparent we're different generations and it's getting on my nerves. For example, she tried explaining what Vine is to me and that she wishes it was still around so that I could experience it too even though I did. Then today I was making jokes with my sister, 19F. Literally making fun of my own self and the girlfriend jumps in with a stern voice and says, "Girls, stop it right now," in a very stern like disciplinary voice because she mistakenly thought my sister made fun of me. That made my blood boil because even if we were fighting she has no business jumping into the conversation to stop it too. Take on an authoritarian role. Later on, the girlfriend explained to my other sister, 18F, how to turn on a normal shower and asked my sister if she needed help undressing and getting in the shower. My sister, 18F, obviously felt very uncomfortable and was like, "Hell no, I'm not showering and getting undressed in front of you." She acts like an 18-year-old girl is incompetent? FYI, this girl is my dad's sugar baby and is completely supported by my dad. She is extremely spoiled and entitled. Such as won't drink anything less than Voss water and must have top-tier designer clothes and jewelry on her at all times. My dad and his girlfriend are really toxic for each other. They've broken up at least 20 times that I know of since I met her. This is his type of woman now since my parents split 10 years ago. He likes young naive sugar babies but she's the closest in age to me of all the GFS. Anyways, I'm looking for honestly small jabs or comments I can make to shut her TF up because I feel very uncomfortable with her momming me. Please don't give any advice on communicating to my dad these issues. That will backlash on me and this girl is extremely emotionally immature, so if you have any smart aleck comments or low-key jabs that would be helpful. TDLR. My 23F dad's 59M very young girlfriend, 25F, is starting to try and parent me. Asking for smart aleck comments to shut her up please. Does she have a dad? You could do the funniest thing. Lol, start talking really loudly like she's hard of hearing and call her ma'am. "Ma'am, I'm going to get some breakfast, do you want some?" Let's be real, she's not playing mommy, she's playing mind games. You're 23 and she's 25, practically your peer trying to act superior. The power move here? Treat her exactly like the peer she is. When she goes full, stern mommy mode, laugh it off with, "Girl, you're literally my age, this is weird AF." Her attempts at momming you aren't about you at all. It's about her desperate need to validate her position in your dad's life. She's trying to create artificial distance because how else can she justify dating someone who could be her dad while trying to parent his kids who are her age? Keep bringing it back to reality, your peers, and her authority is as fake as her attempt at playing stepmom. Those who grasp for authority the loudest often have the weakest claim to it. Tell her if she starts acting too mature that your dad might think it's time to dump her and go for someone younger. And that your dad is also gross and pos for that and she's choosing to date him knowing she has an expiry date on. Would it be too much to pretend that she's having a stroke? Are you feeling well? You're talking gibberish, you need to sit down, and do you need to get a doctor? I'm really concerned that you're not remembering how old we are, how old you are. Do you know what the date is? And then imply heavily that she's alcoholic. I think actually where you wanted to post was in the unethical advice sub. Daddy doesn't pay you to be my mother, so back off. Wife, 32F, caught cheating with coworker, 45M. I, 30M, had a sense something was wrong from the beginning. My wife started hiding her phone, sending late-night messages, staying late at work, and talking about this one guy all day long. He's married, 45M, and has 5 kids. That raised some red flags for me, so I decided to check her iWatch. We had shared passwords a while ago. What I discovered confirmed my suspicions. My wife was cheating on me with this guy. When I confronted her, she initially denied it, despite the messages being clearly from her. But later, when she returned home, she admitted it. She claimed it was just texting and that there had been no sexual relationship. However, the messages told a different story. I found it hard to trust her, especially after she lied at first, saying the texts weren't hers. She then tried to shift the blame back to me, citing an incident from our past. Back when we were dating, a girl that I used to hang out with only for sex sent me explicit pictures. I didn't reciprocate, and we stopped talking for a while as I moved to a different country where I met my actual wife. But one day, she reached out again, and I ended up heavily drunk, seeing the pictures. My girlfriend at the time was next to me when I looked at them. The next day, we talked about it, and she left. I felt ashamed for what I'd done, and while I didn't know what had happened, she forgave me. At the time when that happened I didn't even love her, and I believe things are different now that we're married. However, my wife keeps comparing her situation to mine, saying that because she gave me a second chance, she deserves one as well. But I don't think it's the same. You can't heal a wound by creating another. Am I being too harsh? Update. I had to do it, not just because it was the right thing, but because I've experienced it myself. As a son, I had to witness my father cheat on my mother, and found it in a similar way by texts, so I knew what was right in this situation. She deserved to know the truth. I made her call his wife in front of me. She said that she also found the texts, after it all came out, so HR knew when he lost his job. What surprised me, though, was that she said she wasn't going to leave him. She mentioned that he had done this before and he probably would do it again, that, for her, his kids were more important. No. A couple of pictures are not the same as fucking someone. You also owe it to this man's wife to let her know what's happened. No, you're not. She's bringing up your past mistake because she wants to drown and adulterate her adultery and possibly gaslight you into thinking you are partially to blame for this. This is damage control manipulation and your situation was entirely different. Even if you two had issues, normal people just bring them up by talking. They won't go fucking around with strangers at the first chance. She's cheating and you only know because you caught her. She didn't confess to you and express regret, she lied more. Divorce is the only solution here. Tell his wife, watch him throw your wife under the bus, she will get a nice reality check. Then divorce because she cheated, proven herself untrustworthy, and then tried to downplay her shitty behavior by comparing that to you being sent photos unsolicited. They are not the same thing. Talk about grasping. She hasn't even told you the entire truth yet. Remember that time you didn't come to a complete stop at that red light? That's just the same as when I shot that family to death. Your wife. My boyfriend, 24M, makes jokes about RPing me. Do I, 21F, have a right to feel uncomfortable? My boyfriend of 3 years constantly makes jokes treating to rape me, or beat me, if I don't do certain things, etc. It is always said in a very jokey manner, however it still makes me uncomfortable. He knows that I have been raped by my ex yet still continues to make these jokes. I don't know how to take it because I don't want to be that person who takes jokes too seriously, but I personally would never joke about these things, especially to someone who'd been through it before. Do I have a right to feel uncomfortable about these jokes? Your boyfriend thinks it's funny to remind you of your trauma. You're underreacting to this. He's not joking, he's testing the waters. Hey, what the fuck, why are you with him? 1. Please ask him how these jokes are funny. 2. Yes, you have a right to feel uncomfortable because it's fucking sick. They aren't jokes. They are threats and promises. And one more thing. Even if he says, it's just a joke, it shouldn't matter. What matters is how you feel about them. Someone who invalidates your emotions is not going to be a good partner to you long term. I, 26 female, don't understand my boyfriend, 27 male, breakup jokes. I really don't understand my boyfriend and what exactly he's trying to do. We've only been together for 4 months and everything has already gone chaotic. We've already had several arguments, but it doesn't seem like we can leave each other alone. I don't believe he's into the relationship anymore. Already he has joked twice about breaking up with me. The first time happened the second month we were together. The joke went he was moving away in a few days and that we couldn't be together anymore. I didn't show any emotion and he took it as I didn't care about him. I was getting ready to move on, but like 3 days later he said it was all a joke. This month we were on the phone for 2 hours while he was at work. We had a lovely conversation, no fight, but shortly after we got off the phone he sent me a text. It read, I just want to say this and that'll be it. All jokes aside, I know you enjoyed our time together and it was fun while it lasted, but I think it's best we go our separate ways. You are a wonderful person and there's plenty men out there that's better than me that you can be with. I have some of your things, let me know when you want to pick them up. I just responded with, okay, and what's the reason, and didn't text anything else. The same night he called me like nothing happened. I questioned him about the text and he said the text was just a joke. The more angry I got, the more angry he got at me for reacting so negative. Now because of my reaction, he's blaming me for the reason he doesn't want to deal with me. It's only a matter of time before he comes up with a third joke. Do I just move on? Joking about a breakup is never cool. He's clearly emotionally manipulating you lol and he's blaming you for your negative reaction. Lol, what is he thinking? Such a red flag. Girl, run. You deserve someone who is EOF and sure of how he feels for you. He likes keeping you on a yo-yo, it's a power trip. Dump him and don't look back. Yes, move on. He's trying to get you to beg him not to break up with you. He is some sort of weird power trip from the sounds of it. I mean, people shouldn't joke about such things, either you mean it or you don't, and he's just trying to get a reaction out of you and you're not giving it to him, which is great. Yes, obviously. This is sociopathic on his part. Girl, you should still be in the, I am so in love. Everything is cotton candy and popcorn amazing. Yet here you are. And he is making breakup jokes. Really? Do you have no self-respect? Send him a breakup text. I deserve better than a jokester like you. I'll pack up your things that you left here and tell you when you can pick them up. Christ, break it off already. You're clearly not that into this guy. Just be done with his stupid games.